Oh, shoot, family. I thought I had an intro. I ain't got no intro. Where my Rod Hayes intro at? Damn, family. I thought I had 30. Hold up. Let me pin this link from Brother Yosef to the top of the chat. I thought I had an intro and I could buy some time with the intro. I don't know what happened to my intro, man. Hold up. What's good, family? Yo, we about to have a great show tonight. Let me what is going on? All right, let me get this intro. I'll be right back in one. Give us 1 minute, family. Be right back.
Quoting the psalmist, David. So when you understand that once you start, you see yourself sitting in the God seat in triple darkness in the middle of nowhere, and you recognize and observe that position. You sitting in the center of creation. That's the mindset. You sitting in the center of creation and you creating everything. Okay, now you would simplify the totality of creation. You got to bring it into your 3D model of yourself. I'm God pretending to be Rod. How am I supposed to behave as God in this 3D realm? This is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to rewrite who the system told me to be. I'm not going to be Rod. I'm going to be Morpheus Mysticus Magus. Morpheus Mysticus Magus is our chemical name that was adopted by the character Rod in order to break free from the character Rod and become the embodiment of the liberating mind that I want to be, so that I can help other people liberate their mind. So
Yeah, family, make sure y'all get over to Patreon, Black Magic 363, that Rod Hayes video. I'm actually going to have Rod Hayes on the channel, family, next Tuesday. You know, he took a little break. He's going to make his return to YouTube on the channel on Tuesday. So make sure you'll tune in to that as well. And with that being said, shout out to everybody who has joined us already. Shout out to E-Snap. I see E-Snap in the chat. Good brother right there. Want to welcome back to the platform. The brother was at the 9 Eat the God Fest. Every interview me and this brother do, the vibe is just awesome. I mean, the energy is electrifying. It's wonderful to have this brother in our community represent the metaphysics of the occult. None other than brother Yosef, the chief. The chief is back.
Gratitude.
Welcome back to the brother. Chief, man.
Yes.
Man, what's going on, brother? How's everything been for you and the family?
Man, everything has been great, brother. I couldn't complain if I wanted to, man. Just staying in line with the frequency, you know what I'm saying? Staying positive, and everything's working out, brother.
That is good. That is good. Shout out to everybody else in the chat. I see you, Inez, Peace Priestess, everybody else. So Yosef, man, we got a good show tonight. We got a real good show tonight. Can we start out, since we're talking about the violet flame? People may not be familiar with that. That term was brought to a lot of people on this continent by a man named Saint Germain, and he's supposed to be one of the ascended masters. So could you talk to us about, start out with, what is an ascended master? Who are the ascended masters? And could you just touch on Saint Germain a little bit?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Absolutely. So yeah, the ascended masters and ascended master is simply someone who has achieved a certain level of consciousness to the point where they were able to transform their consciousness and able to ascend. That's what an ascended master. And usually what happens is those ascended masters come back and they help to spread consciousness and to awaken consciousness in some form or fashion. Whether they come back as an immortal, like Saint Germain. I'm one of those people that believe that Saint Germain's still alive. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. I even believe he was Merlin. That's a whole nother thing. You know what I'm saying? But Saint Germain is still alive. He was an immortal. He is an immortal. And all the ascended masters, for the most part, they choose to be. They can come down and be immortals, which is nothing but a baby god. A god is nothing but an immortal human. You know what I'm saying? So I talked in the past about a group of masters called the Siddhas in India. And these Siddhas, some of them are ascended masters. Not all of them, but some of them are ascended masters to this domain, because some of the ascended masters, they go to other parallel worlds. You know what I mean? So that's what ascended master is. And as far as Saint Germain, yes, he introduced something which is it was actually before he was even an ascended master. It was a very old concept, something called the violent flame. Every chakra in your body has a certain level of consciousness, right? Certain level of consciousness. And I'm not saying that the violet flame is only connected to the higher chakra. It's way more than that. But the reason why I'm bringing up the chakras is because there's more masters that line up with Saint Germain, and these masters are called the masters of the seven rays. The masters of the seven rays, and these masters of the seven rays, their colors almost line up with the chakras, not all the way, but they do. But I bring up the chakras because the chakras represent certain levels of consciousness, and we know the violet consciousness is definitely what you call the seventh chakra, which is supposed to be one of the highest forms of consciousness before you go to the black chakra. That's a whole nother thing, right? But at the end of the day, that's what that is, and that's what Saint Germain got famous for, because that flame can do so much. But it's about what it really is about is activating the flame inside of you in order to transmute, because not all the flames transmute, right? So, and I'm so grateful for this topic because it's bringing out. I had to blow the dust off some of my notes, you know what I'm saying? I studied a long time ago, and I was like, oh yeah, let me talk about this, let me talk about that. So, if you don't mind, real quick, I want to talk about, and I had to write this down so I could remember their names. The seven lords of light, or what you call the seven sons of Brahma. And it's funny they call themselves that, but not all of them are males. So these seven sons of Brahma, also called the seven flames. We already talked about Saint Germain. He controls what you call the order of the violet flame. It is a real order. Now I'm gonna give y'all a little bit more secrets to this stuff real quick. But this order is also something called the Great White Brotherhood. So the first order is called the Blue Flame, right? And there's a master, ascended master named El Moria El. El Moria El is controller of the order of the Blue Flame. He's in India. That's all I could talk about as far as that. But he's in India.
Damn, that's it? Woo.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Let me say this: when you giving out certain information, you know what I'm saying? It's some things can be talked about and some things can't. But I'll just tell you this: I'm giving y'all where it's at. He's located in India. El Moria El. That's the name of that master. He controls the order of the Blue Flame. These are real spiritual orders. Okay. Lord Lanto is in control the order of the Yellow Flame. He's in Wyoming. It's not a joke. And by the way, I already talked about this like a year and a half ago on my Patreon. I gave them the science on this on my Patreon a year and a half ago. So if y'all want more on the Patreon, I can go to Brother Yosef on Patreon. But this is the order of the Yellow Flame School is in Wyoming. Okay. Paul the Venetian, a real immortal. Now let me say this: El Moria El is also one of him and Saint Germain and another person. Those three are actually the three people that's part of the order of the Great. Even though these lodges connect to the order of the Great White Brotherhood, but these three characters actually sit on the Great White Brotherhood. So Paul the Venetian is in control of the order of the Pink Flame, and that's based in France. The order of the Pink Flame is based in France, right? Serapis Bey is a gentleman named Serapis Bey. Serapis Bey is in the order of the White Flame. He controls the order of the White Flame, and the order of the White Flame is located in Egypt. Okay, what a coincidence with the pyramid thing they just found. Hilaron is control of the order of the Green Flame, which has a lot to do with healing. That order deals with a lot of the healing on the planet, right? And they're located in Greece. Okay, Lady Nada, which is probably the most powerful of all the seven lords. Lady Nada controls the order of the Ruby Flame, the order of the Purple Flame, and the order of the Gold Flame. And she is located in Saudi Arabia. Some people say that she's actually a jinn. Don't know if that's true. You know what I'm saying? Some people say she's actually a jinn. But she's in control of the order of the Ruby Flame, the order of the Purple Flame, and the order of the Gold Flame. Okay, in Saudi Arabia. And then you have Brother Saint Germain, who's in control of the order of the Violet Flame. And he's also he has three places. He's based in Wyoming, India, and also Transylvania. And those are the lords of the seven lords of light, or what you call the seven sons of Brahma, right? So, and they have different names for them too, but I can't pronounce their other names, so I just give y'all the basic names that they come up with. But that's so Saint Germain. I just want to put y'all on to that. Y'all can look these people up. The 7 Lords of Light, the seven sons of Brahma. I want to give y'all this information because there's more to it than just the order of the violet flame. You got order of the yellow flame, order of the blue flame that deals with life force and intellect. The order of the green flame deals with healing. The order of the yellow flame deals with high vibratory, raising frequencies, right, and so on and so on. And also, these individuals are connected to the Great White Brotherhood. You know what I mean? And they all are ascended masters. They all are ascended masters. So I just wanted to say that, add that in there.
You know, some people might get. I'm hearing an echo. Do you have 2 computers on or something? I'm hearing my echo. When I
testing.
Check.
I have my mute on my other video. Let me turn it off. Okay, that's off now.
Yeah, just real quick to clarify something. Some people might, such a race-based society and such trauma we've endured through the centuries in this country. When you say the Great White Brotherhood, some black folks might get triggered, Brother Yosef. I mean, it's triggering to hear the Great and White in one sentence.
Yeah.
So, what is the mystical, metaphysical, occult meaning behind the Great White Brotherhood, Brother Yosef?
Yeah, absolutely. And let me just say this, you know what I'm saying? What we call European or white people, they're not actually white.
Yeah.
Just like you are not actually what we call black. You're not black. You're actually copper colored. You know, vast majority of African Americans and Europeans are more like a tan or palish color. They're not the color whites. You know what I'm saying? Those are legal terms that can lock you in if you use them the wrong way. But with all that being said, white is just a word they use for purity. White is just a word they use for purity. And we've been trained that black is something evil and bad. No, black just represents chaos, but chaos is needed in the universe. You can't just have the universe and have 100% good all the time. There has to be a balance. And you have order, you have chaos, back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. So the darkness and the light comes together to create creation in so many words. So the Great White Brotherhood is not dealing with white folks. It's not about that. Is there a white man in there? Absolutely. Saint Germain. You know what I'm saying? And there's actually other people under them that, all different races. But I can promise you there's definitely other races and stuff like that. But that's not what's important. What's important is the information. And let me say this, we got to make sure, y'all, that we get past. If you want to evolve in consciousness, and trust me, I was the worst one. I used to be one of them brothers, you know what I'm saying? I didn't want to deal with nothing white. You know what I'm saying? Because I thought that's what it was. And I'm going to tell you why. And when I found out that the 10 Commandments, the Egyptians wasn't white, it blew my mind. And I didn't notice that until I was like 21, 22 years old. And I felt so lost and so hurt. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, and a lot of anger built up into me. So for my first few years of consciousness, I was so angry and I was mad at white folks and I hated white folks. But what happened was, as I started to read my books and I started applying what I read and I started to have experiences, I started to meet different races in the higher worlds. And yes, some of these people look like what you would call European people. Some of them look like Asian people. You know what I'm saying? And I had to come to terms with that. I had to deal with that. Like, hey, this is what it is. So, and I found out more things that the system we live in is deeper than that. That's actually a ploy. It's a trick to keep us down. It's to keep the races fighting against each other. You know what I'm saying? Keep the races fighting against each other. Because if everybody ever came together, there'd be a big issue. So I'm one of them people. I'm past the racism. The Great White Brotherhood don't bother me. Please don't let it bother you. You know what I'm saying? Anybody out there. We're talking about a certain level of people who have purified their consciousness. And also some people might say that's sexist. What about the Great White Womanhood? You know what I'm saying? No, these are men and women. They just call it a brotherhood. You know what I'm saying? Or male and female. They just call it a brotherhood. So with that being said, don't let the word get to you. It's about the purity of consciousness, which is white. That's what that represents, fam. So I want people to understand that.
Indeed. I want to, first of all, I've showed this book so many times, y'all. Throughout the years, I read some of it with Blue Pearl. I told y'all it's one of my favorite books. It's actually a whole collection. There's 33 of these books. I got about 5. I always said I was going to get the whole collection, but I'm only up to 5 right now. This is number think this is, let me, what number is this? I forgot what number is this. It don't say. Well, this is volume 1. See, let me show you something. Saint Germain series, volume 1, Unveiled Mystery. So I had this for a long time. Real good book, great book.
Oh, I got that book too. Yeah,
yeah, great
I think
book.
I got that book. Yeah,
great book. I want to, and this book deals with the teachers of Saint Germain. I want to read something to you, Brother Yosef, and I want to ask you a question. So let me read this quick passage from this book, family, and I'm gonna ask the brother this question. A question. Under no circumstances discuss either your desire or the fact that you are visualizing with anyone whatsoever. That is imperative. Do not talk to yourself about it out loud or even in a whisper, for you should realize that the greater the accumulation of energy generated by your visualization, contemplation, and feeling the reality of your picture, the quicker will come into your outer experience. Thousands of desires, ambitions, and ideals would have manifested into the outer experience of individuals if they had not discussed them with friends or acquaintances. When you decide to definitely bring about an experience through consciously directed visualization, you become the law, God, the law of the one to whom there is no opposite. You must make your own decision and stand back on your own decree with all your power. It means you must take an unshakable, determined stand. To do so, no one feel that it is God desiring, God feeling, God knowing, God manifesting, God controlling everything concerning it. This is the law of the one, God, God, and God only. Until this is fully understood, you cannot and never will get your manifestation. For the moment a human element enters, you are taking it out of God's hand. And of course, it cannot express because you are neutralizing it by human qualities of time, space, place, and 1,001 other imaginary conditions which God does not recognize. No one can ever know God as long as he considers a force opposed to God. For whenever he acknowledges that two forces can act, he has a resultant quality of neutralizing activity. When you have neutralization, you have no definite quality either way. You merely have nothing or no thing in your manifestation. When you acknowledge God, the one, you have only perfection manifested instantly, for there is nothing to oppose or neutralize it, no element of time. So it is established to turn you upon you, for there is none to oppose what God decrees. With that being said, I want to ask you, being a brother that's in the occult community, and a lot of people that's in the occult community, they deal a lot with spells and protection rituals and, ward off evil rituals. Do you think, in being a part of the occult movement, you are acknowledging too many opposing forces when there's only one force that governs this entire universe? And by doing that, you're kind of neutralizing the very result that you want in the first place.
Yeah, absolutely. That's a powerful thing. I'm going to go back to something that Brother Bobby Hibben said years ago. He said at one time, Horus was taught that the gods was above him. Then another time he was taught that he was one of the gods. And then another time he was taught that he was above the gods, right? So that story right there represents there's different levels of consciousness. So what I'm really trying to say is that at one level, yes, you can blame a force in the world and saying that, hey, this is something that's fighting against me. And then at another level, you can look at yourself and say, this is me. I'm doing it to myself. And then at another level, you can only say, whatever's bothering me, I'm more powerful than it. So I can make it disappear. I can keep it going, whatever it is. But what I'm trying to say is that it's a certain level of consciousness. So it's deeper than people just saying that they're God. You have to go through the mental alchemy. Right. You have to go through the mental alchemy to become God. And what I'm really saying in another way is always tell people this. The most powerful thing you can do as a magician, a spiritual person, is become a vessel. Become a vessel for what? You, the true you, your higher self, right? Connect with that, line with that, become a vessel for it. And there's parts of becoming a vessel for your higher self that your higher self just don't deal with the humanity stuff that you used to dealing with, right? So this is why now, for me, astral traveling and going through so much, I push morals and character now, because this is what I'm being taught. You know what I'm saying? Oh, make sure your morals and character is a certain level, right? Make sure you have good morals and character. We don't want to deal with you if you ain't got a certain level of moral character. We know what you need. We hear you crying. We hear you saying you need help. But if your morals and character are not good, then you just choosing to suffer. So the first thing I always tell spiritual people to do is get out of survival mode. If you in survival mode, you're stuck and you're doing it to yourself. It ain't hard to get out of survival mode. It's all about just admitting the truth. And that's another thing I want to say. Because I say this all the time, but it's true. Spirituality, I realize spiritually that we lie to ourselves too much. We lie to ourselves too much. Yeah. We see the red flags. We know our cousin who's negative, who stayed with us, ain't supposed to be staying with us. We need to kick this joker out the house, right? Yeah. And that he's causing us to stay in survival mode. We know it don't matter. I don't care if it's your mama, your cousin. Nothing should be more important than your spiritual evolution. So the first things first, get all the negative stuff out there. If it's that boyfriend, that girlfriend that just can't get it together, get them out of your life, right? So now you can get your mind clear. Now that your mind clear, you can choose to evolve. You can't evolve in the chaotic world. You just can't do it. So to answer that question, what you're saying is that it's certain levels of content. This is why people come to me and say, you know, Brother Yosef, isn't melanin just Satan? I'm like, yeah, it's true. It is Satan on one level. It depends on what level your mentality think about it at. You know what I'm saying? Because melanin is different things on different levels. So I can always tell what level of person on when they come to me and talk to me. You know what I'm saying? Like people who mad about the Great White Brotherhood. You want a lower level of consciousness. You know what I'm saying? It's deeper than that. It's about spiritual evolution. You know what I'm saying? And that's what it's about, family. So yeah, we got to get out of that because that keeps us stuck in our consciousness. I promise y'all so much. I have done the work. And I'm telling you, you know what I'm saying? Books, I'm going to tell y'all like this. The books we read, we love books, but books can only take us to about 50%. I've learned all the story ain't down here. Right. You're going to have to learn how to apply what you're reading and go to the next level, which is going into the astral world. So you can talk to people, you can meet people, and you can get information that nobody never heard before and bring it down. It don't matter if people believe it. When you apply, it doesn't work for you. Because I've had that situation a lot of times where I heard something in the astral plane that I've never heard before. It could be about anything, dragon magic or anything. And all of a sudden I apply it and it works. But people will tell me that's not true. I never heard about that. Well, that's because somebody just didn't write it in the book. But when I got it and I applied it, it worked. So I want to encourage everybody, go to the next level. It's time, really, for the spiritual community. It's time for us to start meeting each other in the astral plane. We start having meetings in the astral plane. And this is how we keep stuff secret. We keep stuff away from people who we don't want to know. That's where we got to go next.
Indeed. When you go to these planes, since we're talking about the 7 rays and the violet flame, do you cloak your body in a certain colored armor, like a golden armor, a violet armor? Is there a certain?
Well, I've learned how to cloak myself recently in the astral world, but I can tell you right now, sometimes it don't work. Like sometimes beings will still see you when you cloak yourself. You know what I'm saying? Like a prime example, I'll give you so the Great White Brotherhood, right, was started, was a group that's a part of it is called the Lemurians, right? Yeah. And the Lemurians produce a lot of what we call spiritual teachers and spiritual masters. Don't matter, they have already produced all different types of races. And the Lemurians are still alive, they're still here, their island is cloaked. They're still around though. Now they have a headquarters that's stationed inside of Mount Shasta, right? So in Mount Shasta is where the headquarters of these Lemurian beings are, right? Now, what I found out through astral travel, share something deep with y'all. I already told my Patreon community about this, but what I found out in going through the underworld taverns is that there's a city called Mount Telios. Right? Mount Telios. And Mount Telios is a quantum city. It's a quantum city. What do I mean by that? I'm going to explain this the best way I can. Under Mount Shasta, under Earth, there's another mountain. And inside that mountain is nothing but a hologram. Inside of that mountain, there's a cavern that produces like a 6-foot tall, look like a mound. That mound has a whole city, quantum city living inside of it. It's called Mount Telos. And it's one of the underworld cities inside of Shambhala, right? The whole underworld is actually something else I learned. It's all called Shambhala. You know, that's one of the things that's heard. Then there's a main city called Shambhala. So they can project, they're so advanced technologically that they can advance their technology into a hologram in the outer world from the quantum world, right? And I was told that there was over 1 trillion people that live in this city called Mount Telos. And these are what you call the Lumerians, some of the Lumerians. That's one of their headquarters. So once again, one of the reasons why Mount Shasta is such a spiritual, I want to go one day, I've never been there, but such a spiritual high vibratory place is because underneath it is actually a crystal city called Mount Telos, and it's a quantum city, and they're constantly projecting. And these people work with crystals, they work with healing frequencies, they work with sound, and they're actually projecting this energy through Mount Shasta. And that's why it's such a powerful spiritual place to go, Mount Shasta. So I wanted to share that with the people, because that's something I found out astral traveling when I went on my little journeys into the inner earth, Mount Telos. And that's actually a city that I never heard of until I went there. And when I went to go research it, it's a real city. So I wanted to share that with the community. Y'all can go look that up. But Mount Telos is something that's deep. And another inner earth that city they have is one called Shanxi. Shanxi is different. They don't like, if you physically try to go there, but you could get there through certain caverns, they will kick you out. You must have your astral body or something higher to even come there, because these are 6-dimensional entities that live in the inner earth. That's called Shanxi. That's another city as well. So I just wanted to share that with you guys. Telos, Mount Telos is a mountain that's under Mount Shasta, and it's controlled by the Lumerians.
Yeah, no, I'm glad you brought that up about Mount Shasta. You know, every time I haven't been over there, Blue Pill goes there often. He's been doing retreats there for years, and every time somebody takes a picture over there, there's always like, and they say Saint Germain, that's his domain area over there, Mount Shasta, and there's always purple around the people when they take these pictures. Have you ever seen the pictures from Mount Shasta?
I have. I've seen the pictures. I've seen the purple, and I also seen how the clouds be forming around there.
Yeah, man. It's some deep
Some
stuff.
people say that some of the people that hang around there are not even real humans.
yeah, man.
You know what I mean?
Yo, you think there's a lot of people that's not NPCs, but because we talked about NPCs, but what percentage do you think of people that are down here that are not human but look human?
Oh man, I can tell you right now, in my opinion, a little more than half of homeless people are not human.
You said that. Yeah, I heard you say
that.
Yeah,
a little bit more than half of homeless people are not human. I can tell you that. And it seems like this is how they trying to, or how they always have in a lot of ways, integrated themselves into humanity. They they walk around looking like homeless people. You know what I'm saying? That are not homeless people. So that's there's a lot of homeless people. You know what I'm saying? Around the country. And of course, everybody hear about California, how it's just crazy over there with homeless people. And I think a lot of these so-called homeless people are just fronts. You know what I mean? I do believe that there are some people here who are they just exist. They don't have a soul, nothing. I want to say something interesting, brother. Because there's different levels to this, right? So there's a brother, and for y'all some of y'all know about this, some of y'all don't. There's a brother on TikTok. His name is Damo Draper, right? Damo Draper, you guys can go look him up. He claims to be, he's a black man, but he claims to be a real vampire. Now, check it out. I've heard all the stories. I had people even call me on consultation. I'm a vampire, okay, whatever. I did an intense study on vampires, werewolves, all this stuff. I'm like 90% in that this man is a real vampire.
Yeah,
right. Really? First of all, without any photo, video stuff, he's really showed his fangs. He showed his fangs, and he said, hey, I'm over 300 years old, and I've been trying to tell people for 100 years that I'm a vampire. Nobody believes me. He said, so it's only so much I could tell y'all without bringing harm to my kind. He said, but I'm over 300 years old. And he said his black mama is over 900 years old. Right? That makes you think. You know what I'm saying? So some people don't believe him, of course. He said, one thing he said, yo, when you don't believe me, you understand that's your brain trying to protect you. Right? Trying to protect you. Because humans, we don't believe nothing until we see it. So even though this man is showing, talking about stuff that he shouldn't know, from the past, telling stories. I think the number one reason why I do believe him is that he's not trying to prove to people he's a vampire. He just brings it up every now and then, and he answers a few questions. Say, hey, if y'all want to know, this is what it is. And he doesn't. He approves that he drinks blood. He said, yeah, I drink blood. He said, because I'm just like a human. He said, I just need other elements that humans don't need. So I'm just bringing this up because it goes to show how many people on Earth that are right here next to us, and they could be your next door neighbor, and you don't know. He said he's living his 11th life right now. And he said that what the vampires do is that they can drink the blood and they can go back to being a child, a 7-year-old kid, and just relive their life all over again when they feel like it. You know what I'm saying? And some really deep stuff, man. Now, one cool thing I saw that this white guy one time claimed to, I think he was a Latino guy, he claimed to call the FBI in the sky. And this right before they shut down TikTok. It's so funny. He said, this is what I want you to do. He said, I want you to call the FBI and tell them that I'm supposed to be doing stuff to people. And I want you to report back to me tomorrow morning before they shut off TikTok and let me know what happened. He says, I promise you won't make it to the end of it. And then he goes on to say, you know why? He said, because vampires control the FBI. Oh, shit. And that blew my mind.
Oh, shit.
He said, my people run that. And that really set everything in a whole nother perspective. You know what I'm saying? He even goes on to say that the prohibition was created to put vampires into society. And it made sense. And I'm like, yo, vampires drink liquor. I mean, excuse me, people drink liquor. It thins your blood out when you drink liquor. You know what I'm saying? And he said vampires, he said garlic doesn't work against vampires because garlic, we want you to eat garlic so you taste better. We want you to think that you're safe. And you can eat garlic so your blood tastes better and your blood is thinner when you eat garlic. I mean, he says a lot of points, y'all. Some of y'all know who he is. But he's very famous on TikTok, got over 1 million followers. But majority of his content is just goofing around, you know, talking about regular stuff. He barely talks about vampire stuff. But y'all go check him out. His name was Damo Draper. And I only brought him up because we're in a topic of talking about how many people here do we believe is not humans. I believe it's a lot of different groups here that's not humans, not just ETs. I believe in vampires. I believe in demons, real human beings being demons. I believe in real human beings being lizards, draconians, whatever you want to call it. This stuff is real, but these people don't always expose themselves. But he claims the FBI wants people to know about vampires. So he said his part of his job is to tell people about vampires. So I'm keeping an eye on him. Y'all can go check him out. You know what I'm saying? Y'all can go check him out. It is very interesting. You know what I mean? Damn. Interesting stuff.
Very, very interesting. Wow. I know you was coming with that, man. Let me
try to check it out. This man is very interesting with his vampire stuff, man.
Let me read something real quick, y'all. Shout out to everybody in the chat. We got 1,900 people in the chat. Real good show tonight, y'all. I tell you, every time Brother Yosef come on here, it's electric. It's an electric show. Hold up, family. What am I doing here? What is Brother Rich doing? Let me read something real quick. So this is just a little science behind the concept of the violet flame, and this is from medium.com. For those who are scientific minded like me, some context on how the violet flame works and always helpful. Think of this flame as a manifestation of light and part of the different degrees of vibration that exists within the light spectrum. Okay. I'm just getting over cold. Give me a second, y'all. In our physical world, the violet light is the shortest wavelength of light and therefore the highest frequency in the physical spectrum. Since frequency is directly proportional to energy, the violet light also has the most energy. That means it has the greatest ability to change matter at the atomic level. When you call for the violet flame, it sets up a polarity between the nucleus of the atom and the white fire core of the flame. The nucleus, be it from matter, assumes the negative pole, and the white fire core of the violet flame, be it spirit, assumes the positive pole. This interaction sets up an oscillation, a vibration that dislodges the density. Or contact with the violet flame, this dense substance is cleansed, purified, and restored to its native purity. The electrons begin to move freely again and raise a whole vibration in our energy level. So I know a lot of y'all like the science, so I just want to read that.
Yes.
What do you think about what was just said right there in terms of the science on an atomic level with the violet flame, Brother Yosef?
I think that's very powerful and very true. And, you know, to go even deeper into that, we know about the purple plates, you know, by Nikola Tesla. That pretty much does what a lot of these things says it does, right? Nikola Tesla worked with a lot of the purple flame energy that people don't understand. He worked within that spectrum. They even got something called Tesla wands. shout out to Uncle Hanky, because he's been using the science for a long time, the Tesla coil. But now they got something called the violet wands, where you can actually, people use cleansing. It transmutes the energy on your face, get rid of dead skin cells, gets rid of bacteria, it does all kind of stuff, right? But a cool thing about this energy is that you can rub it on your crystal grids. You can rub it over your crystal grids to increase the power of your crystal grids. I talk about that in my book, The Way of Radiance, and I show you how to make a certain type of grid to empower it with that, right? The crystals really like our energy. So with that being said, like, you can use the violet wand, the violets. I keep saying violent, but violet wand that's dealing with the energy of Nikola Tesla, right? Who produced a lot of tools that had this violet energy on it. You know what I mean? So what this is saying right here is very true. And Nikola Tesla was one of those people that worked within the science. Shoot, to a degree, he was an alchemist, right? This man created free energy, right? He knew a lot of science about a lot of things that people didn't understand. I heard he even invented some type of time travel type of stuff. So I just wanted to let people know that's another thing that you can do dealing with the violent flame. You can get you a violet wand. You can clean your aura with it as well, because you're dealing with cold plasma. And you can actually cleanse your aura, which your aura is cold plasma. You can cleanse your aura with this violet wand, right? This purple wand. And you can cleanse your aura with it as well. So that's another science you can use. So yeah, that is very true. That's what that flame does. It transmutes energy, but there's so many other secrets that it does as well. It can produce life. It can do a lot of things. Now, I would tell a person to picture it around somebody you want protected. Mm-hmm. Somebody that is when you're trying to manifest, for sure, you can use that. I would say the purple energy and the green energy. When you're trying to heal, you can use that green energy, but the purple energy works as well. You know what I'm saying? For the healing energy as well. So yeah, very powerful. And I had a Nikola Tesla plate. I don't know what I did with that thing. I had like 3 of them.
Oh, I had a lot of them too.
You know, I had the one you could put your food on, all that.
This brother way back in the day, this brother named Azariah, rest in peace to Azariah. He used to sell them on 125th, and I got it. And he used to have one you put on around your neck. I had that. Then I had the plate. I got one from Uncle Hank. So I had a lot. I don't know what I did with them.
Me either. Mine just vanished, man.
Next time I get it, I'm gonna hold on to it. I'm gonna hold on to it for sure. Bro, Yosef, let me ask you this real quick. And you led right into my next question when you slipped up and you said violent instead of violet. With the word violet light is the highest frequency in the physical spectrum. Why do you think a word that represents the highest frequency in the physical spectrum is so close in vibration to a word like violent? It's only separated by one letter N.
That's a good question. It's like that other thing they said, live backwards is devil or something like that. Evil. To have lived, or it means to devil backwards is like lived or something like that. Some of y'all know what I'm trying to say. You know what I'm saying?
Live backwards is evil. E-V-I-L.
Evil. There you go. Evil. So to live is the evil. Some people say, why is that so close together? You know what I'm saying? And I think it's just a play of words, but you know, I know that violet or purple. I'm just gonna say purple because I keep saying violet.
See what I'm saying? You see what I'm saying?
Right. That violet frequency, right? But I know that purple frequency is definitely the highest spectrum, and it connects to a lot of things like Venus. Right. Connects to a lot of the purple energy, right? Lucifer, who I got the science on in the astral plane, and a lot of people don't understand the science of Lucifer, but that's dealing with high level frequency and love and Venus and the Venetians and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So at the end of the day, that purple energy, you know, even when you burn ancestor money, right? When you burn a lot of the ancestor money, you know what I'm saying? That's coming from that as well. And let me say this real quick, brother. I want to say this to you real quick. You had a brother on here a while ago, I think maybe two or 3 weeks ago. And he said that his master teacher was Dr. Mitchell Gibson. Yeah, and that's also my master teacher. You know what I'm saying? That's one of my master teachers as well. I've been on him for years. See, but I never talk about him in public. I talk about him on my Patreon. My Patreon people. You know what I'm saying? I know he's retiring this year, so he's gonna be done after this year. He's gone. Okay. But I got a lot of that science from studying up under him as well too. I learned a lot of that science dealing with the the purple wands and dealing with certain things like that. So I just wanted to shout that brother out. That was real dope what he said, and that was so dope what he was talking about with the AI.
It was dope, right?
It was fire. It was. I mean, you can't deny it was definitely fire. And I didn't know AI can talk that deep. It will tell that much truth. So shout out to that brother, man. Just wanted to say that real quick. But at the end of the day, man, what I was saying again, yes, the purple flame, that is something that's very powerful, family, and something that we all need to connect into. You know what I'm saying? But I don't want you guys to forget about the other flames as well. That's very powerful, because a lot of people don't know about those other schools or those other flames or angles of light, right. Which is information. You know what I'm saying? Because this goes also, family, into the people who are anointed, right? The anointed ones. And when you're dealing with anointed, you're dealing with somebody who is what's the word I'm looking for? It was a word not holy. When somebody's anointed, it goes into the word bless. Okay. And to be blessed means to be blooded, right? So when you talk about somebody blessing you, talking about somebody putting blood on you, which goes into the anointed, which is nothing but DNA, right? And that DNA, so who really got our chosen ones? Since we're talking about ascended masters and people who are supposed to come, because all this goes into the order of Melchizedek. The order of Melchizedek is actually a bloodline. You know what I'm saying? Dealing with the chosen ones, right? And the chosen ones are the people who have been blooded, or the people who have been blessed or anointed. And the word blessed goes into somebody who back in the day, they will actually put the blood on you, or they will put the DNA to you. So that's how they would bless you back in the day. So I don't want people to think of something bad, right? The oil in the water has replaced that. But the blood on you represented the blood that was in you. It's a bloodline. So that's what we want to say. The order of Melchizedek, which also goes into the Great White Brotherhood. And all this connects, y'all. The Galactic Federation, the Great White Brotherhood, but the order of Melchizedek is a bloodline over everything else. And certain people are born with a bloodline that have priests in their bloodline. Some people are just here to inspire people. They're not here to teach. They're just here to inspire. Some people are here to teach. What's the brother name? Infinite Waters. Peace, Infinite Waters. He is 100% part of the order of Melchizedek. You know what I'm saying? That brother is 100% here to inspire people. You know what I'm saying? Some of y'all who's watching this right now are here to inspire people over everything else. That's what you got to understand, family. So I just want to put that out there as well.
And real quick, because I had a question about colors in purple, but real quick, since you brought up the aliens, you said something just now about aliens or something like that. No, you said the Galactic Federation. That's what you said. And all right, and you're the perfect person to ask this question to. I think I asked this question a while ago to somebody, and I don't know if they gave an answer, or if I don't know what the answer quite was. I might have asked it to you. I'm not sure, but since you do so much traveling astrally, I remember you told us one time that once a month you get taken on a spaceship and all that stuff. You live in a realm. You're a chief. You got a tribe. Do y'all have a flag?
Yes.
Okay. So y'all have a flag. We see the country, every country down here has a flag. China, America, Britain, Nigeria. Everybody has a flag. Do these extraterrestrials, do they have flags where they're from that represent where they're from? Because if we're talking about as above, so below, did we get that from them? Do they get that from us? Are we both doing the same thing when it comes to flags and represent who we are?
Yeah, absolutely. A lot of the information that we get today as far as flags and stuff, yes, ETs definitely have flags in different ways. Sometimes they have it on their ships, which would look like a certain type of language. Sometimes they actually have I've seen actual flags, like on their planets. I've actually seen certain flags. So, but a lot of this stuff come from them teaching Aboriginal people certain sciences. That's why I said, y'all, when it's all said and done, it's going back to the Aboriginals. The indigenous people is going to rise. The ETs know. They've always come down here to the most indigenous people on the planet. So I don't go to the ship anymore. They stopped me from going to the ship now. I've been going to the ship since 2013. And in 2023, the end of 2023, I stopped going. And I said, well, what's next? They said, when the time comes, you'll know exactly what to do. And I believe that me doing what I'm doing, as far as starting my tribe, as far as doing whatever, I believe that I'm being guided. You know what I'm saying? I'm being guided by something. A white lady told me that many years ago when I got my first ever reading. I only had 3 readings my whole life. When I got my first ever reading, she told me I was a priest. I come from a bloodline of priest. And she also told me that I'm being guided for something in this world in the future. And when I was on brother Uncle Hanky's show not too long ago, and shout out to Lord Strayhorn, he read me like a book. He said, "Man, you got 5 1s in your chart starting the beginning. You're a pioneer. You're here to do something great." You know what I'm saying? I've always felt like that in my life. So yes, to answer that question, there's a lot of ET groups that have their own flag and they represent their own thing. But a lot of them live on these big, humongous ships, that's like the size of like cities. They live in their own ships, and they don't have. Some of them don't have a planet. They just travel from one dimension to another dimension to another dimension, and they have this thing, this mothership is what we call it down here. But they have this mothership that they live on, and they all come together.
Mm-hmm. What, brother Yosef? A lot of times when we close our eyes, like if we just keep our eyes closed, we will see a certain color. Like when I close my eyes, I can see purple a lot. I see purple a lot. Do you think that when you close your eyes and depending on what color you see, because sometimes it may be green, does that would that mean that that's the chakra you're vibrating most on at that moment, depending on what color you see with your eyes closed?
Yes, it represents a certain frequency for sure. So if you close your eyes and you're very angry about something, I can promise you're going to see red or orange only.
Right.
You're going to see red or orange. But if you're in a very happy space, and a lot of us has been in this moment, we in this very good space, and we close our eyes, we see these purples, and we see these really bright. Sometimes you'll even see a white milky color.
Yeah, yes,
you'll see a higher vibratory white color. Yeah. And if you're lucky enough, you'll see a green color. Some people see different colors. These are all signs of your consciousness is trying to dial into something. That's what that represents. There's a very powerful technique that anybody who's watching this can try. What you want to do is you want to stare at light a white candle. You want to stare at the flame. Do it for like maybe 3 minutes. Blow the candle out and close your eyes immediately. You're going to see the same flame you were staring at. You're going to see it inside your mind's eye. And most people, anybody who's ever done that, know I'm telling the truth. Blow it out real fast. Let it get real bright. Blow it out, and you close your eyes. You're going to see it. And what's going to happen is it's going to start moving like this. But what's going to happen, if you focus on it, eventually it's going to stop. And that light is going to become a portal. It's going to open up. And you're going to actually start to see stuff. I learned that technique a long time ago. And I want some of y'all out there to try it. That's a great way to open your third eye. That's a great way to start seeing stuff as well. If you want to jump into the astral plane real fast, you can try that technique right there. Very powerful. Very powerful.
These shows with Brother Yosef be fire, right, y'all? Man, these shows be fire, man. I'll be loving it.
Glad y'all enjoying it.
But it's time to call you again. I'll be like, yeah, me and Brother Yosef, we're about to do another classic show. I'll be excited, man. Oh, these shows be fun to have, man. So let me ask you, Brother Yosef, once again, you do so much astral traveling and you've come across so many different, entities or whatever. Do you think the culture that we are in right now, Brother Yosef, if we're talking about seeing things, colors with our eyes closed, something that's important with the purple flame is visualization. Do you think we spend too much time as a culture during the course of a day with our eyes open? Like, should there be like people mostly just close their eyes when they sleep, but some people close their eyes when they talk on the phone. Some people close their eyes while they have sex. There's different things people will close their eyes for that others people don't. Should we spend more time during a given day with our eyes closed to increase our visualization abilities and to tap into our inner world more?
I would say what people should spend their time doing more is being into their imagination and learning how to be in the moment. That's something I practice a lot, is learning how to be in the moment. We don't enjoy stuff no more. We don't know how to live in the moment. You know what I'm saying? We just do whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's like I was telling a cousin of mine, he's like, man, I don't understand why people be sitting there looking at paintings and stuff. It looks so boring. I said, cuz, you're missing the point, man. I said, they looking at those paintings to see how it makes them feel. It's not about just looking at the painting. I said, you need to live in a moment. At that moment when you're looking at that $10,000, $100 million painting, it looked like there's a line with some colors on it. But just really tap into it, be in a moment and see what it does to you. See what it expresses to you. So I think people today need to learn how to live in a moment more. You know what I'm saying? To enjoy life. We just let life pass us by. We don't remember what we did yesterday. We need to learn how to live in a moment and use our imagination. And what's going to happen as you do that is you're going to learn how to shift consciousness. I definitely, without a shadow of a doubt, switch back and forth between my higher self. I can feel it. Sometimes when I'm my higher self, I just be in this moment where I can see good things coming to me. And I use that moment to manifest. I rarely do a lot of physical rituals today. All my magic is here now. I've come to that point where I could just manifest whatever. I just think about what I want and it comes to me. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people already are blessed with that gift. They're already blessed with that gift. But I'm telling y'all spend more time in your imagination. Like Albert Einstein said, imagination is more powerful than knowledge. If you spend more time in your imagination and learn how to be in the moment, I think you'll appreciate life a lot more. Just learning how to be in the moment. I don't think we do that enough as a people. You know what I'm saying? Or as anybody in the world, we don't do that enough. We need to learn how to live in the moment. That's what I recommend.
So in our culture, people, spend much more time dedicated to perfecting their physical body opposed to perfecting their spiritual body and their spiritual self. And in order to perfect but in order to get their physical body to be a certain way, they go to the gym and they do certain exercises. So they'll do push-ups, they'll do pull-ups, things like that. They may do, a brother may say, yo, I do 500 push-ups every day. I do 300 sit-ups and I do 200 pull-ups. That's how I look the way I look. What would be some daily spiritual exercises to get Dizu spiritually, like these brothers get Dizu, sisters get Dizu physically?
Yes. Okay. The first thing I would definitely say is that you want to start every day dealing with your bloodline, dealing with your ancestors. That's the first thing you want to do. I always tell people that's your first line of defense. Give up every day and teach and this is something you can pass down the line to your family. This will give you power, by the way. There's a certain level of receiving light because as you empower your ancestors, they empower you. So the first thing, and y'all see me, I'm a living witness of it, y'all. Y'all see me on Instagram. I give thanks to the ancestors every morning. You know what I'm saying? The gods, the 5 elements. I start out my day giving gratitude and thanks to the powers of the day. No matter what powers rule that day, I start out giving thanks. That gets my mind in order. That gets my mind right? Then I would tell people to definitely get more into sun gazing. You definitely want to sun gaze more. You want to connect with that sun on a higher level. It's been proven by science that if you stare at the sun, it will increase your consciousness just from looking at it. You know what I'm saying? So I would recommend people stare at the sun, do more sun gazing. I would also recommend that people get into some type of energy practice. Some people prefer yoga. Some people prefer mudras. Whatever it is, I recommend you learning how to exercise something inside your body, whether it's breathing exercises. I can't deny breathing exercises are extremely powerful. You know what I'm saying? Breathing exercises, anything that can move the meridians, get the meridians circulating in your body. You know what I'm saying? Believe it or not, y'all, yes, mudras can do that. There are many yogis that teach mudras only, and they have transformed spiritually. You know what I'm saying? Yes, mudras can transform your consciousness. That's one of the reasons why I tried to introduce it to the community and really put it out there. Mudra. So get up in the morning, honor your ancestors, do some type of solarizing, dealing with the sun. And definitely, I would definitely say, family, to get into some type of energy exercise, whether it's going to be yoga, mudras, even vibrations, mantras, doing some sound healing and stuff like that. Dealing with vibrations, speaking mantras, all these things are energy exercises. That's going to exercise your energy. You know what I mean? If you practice Reiki, get up every morning and practice your Reiki. Now, another thing that's working is different katas you can do with martial arts. When I was heavy into my wand magic, when I learned how to use my magical wands, my teachers taught me to use martial arts, Tai Chi movements to actually learn how to push the energy through my wands. So I would have to get up in the morning or at night sometimes during the full moon. I had to learn how to do certain Tai Chi movements in order to empower myself, to empower my magical wand. So that's another thing you can do to increase the movement of your energy. And of course, Qigong. I just didn't say that because that's probably the most popular one. You know what I mean? So those are some things you guys can do every day to go to the spiritual gym. And of course, reading books. You know what I mean? I don't know why, but I got a lot of youngins today tell me they don't like to read books. You know what I'm saying? I don't understand. Cool, listen to an audio. Nipsey Hussle never read books, but he listened to a bunch of audio books. He said, I'm a busy man. I don't got a lot of time to sit down and read. He listened to an audio. If you got to do that then. Because you're going to have to exercise your consciousness as well. And so you can get an understanding of what's happening to you spiritually and what's going on around you spiritually. Once you've done all that, take it to the next level and apply the knowledge you're reading on and try to get to that next level in the astral world.
We always, we're talking about visualization. You always see the pictures of people with the fire coming out their hands, and when you type up purple violet flame, they'll show images. I wish I should have pulled one. I should have pulled one up. Hold up, your family. You know what? It would have assisted with the question, but I don't see it now. Have you ever done visualization where you envision fire coming out of your hand? And if so, what was the purpose of doing it and how did it assist you?
I didn't have a situation where I envisioned fire, but I did create an energy ball. And I talked about that one time with a website I used to go to back in the day that don't exist no more. And I did the meditation and the ritual, and I didn't know my energy was that strong. And then all of a sudden, I swear, when I looked down, I saw an electric ball in my hand. It scared the devil out. You understand? I dropped it immediately. Damn. And it just vanished. Like, it stayed in the air. When I went like this, it stayed in the air and just vanished. Like, right in front of me. It was literally a ball. And I will say, yes, I play with that from time to time. I play with that from time to time. And but that's real, y'all. That is very real, and that's something that you can definitely do. Create these energy balls, you know. So yeah, it's true. Absolutely.
I mean, and I'm glad you answered it like that. In knowing that, brother Yosef, does that make you, in knowing that with your hands and energy balls and all that, does that make you not want to shake everybody's hand because you know what's coming out, what energy is emitting from your hand?
Not all the time, because a lot of people's energy, I'm gonna be honest with you, is dull. You know what I'm saying? I always give credit to Montauk Chia. Montauk Chia taught me how to, the first time I had an experience where I actually was able to push and pull energy out of my body was by studying Montauk Chia books. And then I went in deeper, you know what I'm saying? Kanji and all that type of stuff. I went in deeper into the arts, but I would definitely say that some people's energy is turned off. Like, they just, I'm an empath, so I can sense a person's energy from a mile away. And I sense very few people that have this very interesting energy. Usually people's auras are really thin. It's rocky. Like they have mountains on them because the auras got holes. You know what I'm saying? I've seen stuff like that. So what I will say, if you exercise your energy correctly, there's evidence, right? And they talk about it in the book with the Sadat. I love reading information on the Sadats. And when you read information on Sadat, there's evidences that what was supposed to pop up. Like when I used to practice the silver body practice or the lunar body practice, there was evidences that popped up when you do these things. Give it a few months and there's evidences that pop up. So it's rare that I see people with these certain types of things in their aura. So yeah, I don't mind shaking people's hand unless I see something crazy and I'm like, oh, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm good.
Yeah, somebody said aura is your glory. Indeed.
Yes. That's what I always tell people. The aura is the glory. That is the work you've done. That's your glory. You know what I'm saying? Like they say, the Lord deserves all the power and the glory. They're talking about his aura, and the aura is going to express who you really are. That's something I share in one of my classes. So if I'm looking at you and your aura got orbs in it, I know you're doing some serious spiritual work. Orbs, the orbs is always a sign, and that's something I produce a lot of in my auras. A lot of orbs.
Indeed. Yeah, what's his name? Terrence Howard. He just did an interview with Pat, the right wing dude. What's the name? Pat David Beverly. I forgot exactly what his name is. And Terrence was talking about how when a lot of the dudes from Hollywood, when they compromise themselves, their integrity, they're never the same after that. And you can you know who they are because they're constantly doing drugs, or they just have a certain look to them, a certain emptiness to them. So I like how you started out the show where you was like, I'm big on integrity. Like anybody that knows that's, I'm 8, so I'm Saturn. So I gotta be real with my integrity because that's how I get that's how I get my rewards and shit. You know what I'm saying? Or my punishment or whatever you want to call it. And I don't want to use those punishment, I don't want to say that word, but anyway, I forgot exactly what I was saying.
Talking about integrity and character and all that stuff.
Right. So it's just not worth it to sacrifice your aura, your integrity, and then you're never the same. It's like you're a shell of, how they say a coward dies 1,000 deaths. Like, and I just want to like brother Yosef, man, and that's one of the things I respect about you. I always tell you I gravitate toward brothers who got a certain discipline that I see in myself. So I know you've been with your woman. I always say brother Yosef be with like I need to be around brothers like that because you know how it is in the brotherhood. Brothers be like, man, come on, nigga, you ain't got to do this. So when I see brothers that are true to their family and family, man, that family that they about their family, that means a lot to me. So I will bring that will make me want to bring you on the show just because of that. You know what I'm saying? And I feel like that's the realm that we're about to enter, bro. Like I feel like people are starting finally to realize, brother Yosef, that money ain't everything. Money can fucking ruin you. I mean, look what money has done to all these people in Hollywood, bro. It has come, and I don't want to say just money, but the way they've managed it and their concept and what they were looking to do for it, brother. But talk to me about the new paradigm. With that being said, talk to me about a new paradigm of righteous rulers, my brother.
Yes, absolutely. So part of the initiation process, which is getting into mysticism, the mysticism could be negative or positive. You could become a mystic and you can open yourself up to something dark. Like Terrence Howard said, that ruins you. You know what I'm saying? Something's wrong with you and everybody sees something wrong with you, right? I believe that's what happened with Diddy. He opened himself up to he needed a record label so bad back in the day. He opened himself up to something, you know what I'm saying? That's wrong thing.
That's what happened to Polite.
Woo! See, I never knew him, but that's crazy. See, but that's what happens though. You open yourself up to the wrong thing, you go through that initiation, and it's a negative side effect on it, right? It's the same thing like when you join certain gangs and they say, well, you got to go shoot this person. Or you ain't never going to be the same again, bro. You know what I'm saying? No matter what you do, you know what I'm saying? You're never going to be the same again once you take that step. And that's why they try to get young kids into it early. So they become a monster. You know what I'm saying? They become that. You know what I'm saying? So the way the world going is today is it's going towards a higher frequency. Everything's changing to prove that. I know some of y'all hate Trump, Donald Trump and all that. I'm not a Trumper. Some people think I am. I'm not. I swear I'm not a Trumper. I just see it. You know what I'm saying? I see what's coming. And I've been talking about the medical industry getting better and blah, 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 blah. Here come old boy. He's about to start doing some things. You know what I'm saying? Trump is crazy enough to try to change things. You've always needed somebody like that.
You always, yeah.
You know, a lot of people want everything to stay the same because it's comfortable.
Yeah.
And Trump said, no, I'm going to shake up the whole world. You know what I'm saying? That's why you know what he's doing is righteous. It's a good thing because it needs to change. And now he's finding all this crime and embezzlement and all these people cheating and hiding money and laundering money. Come on now.
Yeah.
But people still want to blame him. I'm not a big Trumper, but at the end of the day, I have to respect a person when I see certain things. I like what he do. He shook the whole world up in 4 months and he still got 3 years to go. What you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? So we're going the America's going to change. Society's going to change. And I believe it's going to change for the better. But what will happen, the people need to prepare themselves for this, is robots will come into the play. If you have a certain job, you better get you a side hustle about thinking about something else, because if you have a job that a robot can do, it's just a matter of time in the next 5 years, especially as the industry moves away from China, because China going to have to fold. It's just a matter of time. They're going to have to fold. You know what I'm saying? Something's going to happen. If they move away from China, having all the doing everything over there, and move it back to America, doing everything here, they're going to listen. I believe that's one of Trump's plans. He's going to actually put robots in place and not put the working class back in. You know what I'm saying? Now, some people think that's bad, but I've been telling y'all also universal basic income is coming. They're going to implement universal basic income that Elon Musk been talking about anyway, and they're going to pay you to stay home. Some of y'all just going to stay home and just live off the government. And some people going to have a side hustle and they're going to keep the world turning. They still going to continue to build and grow and do things. And those will be the wealthy people. The regular people are the people who just get their bills paid. They don't do nothing else with their life. So I would say, tell everybody, with the world, with the America changing like that, we're going to a more righteous time. You're going to have your character in order, right? I can tell you right now, when you die, when a person dies, you don't see the light no more. The light is gone. Nobody's coming back to this domain. The only ones coming here now are higher vibratory individuals. And now it doesn't mean that you're not gonna be born to a certain family. A lot of people could be born to bad families, but still evolve and go to a higher thing. So what's happened is, and Jamie Foxx proved that. I was talking about that the other day. Jamie Foxx said that when he passed away or whatever, he didn't see no light. And I'm like, yo, that's exactly what's happening. Nobody's seeing light anymore. People just passed away. You go to the next dimension, because if it's changing down here, it's changing up there as well. But where is it going, y'all? It's going to a higher vibratory frequency. And that's what people gotta understand. So get your character right, get your morals right. And like I said in my show last night, anybody that's still in the streets, your time is limited. You know what I'm saying? Because I'm telling you right now, they planning something for all the street people. They about to end it all. You know what I'm saying? So it's coming, y'all. Get your mind right, get your heart right, have compassion, have more compassion for people, places, and things. That's going to be important as you move forward, is to have compassion without being used, right? Because that's where we're going, y'all, to a higher frequency.
Indeed. I want you to tell the people about what you got coming up. I'm gonna get a couple of questions from the family. I got a link pinned at the top of the chat, brother Yosef. Tell them you got something amazing coming up. Tell them about it.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. So yes, I have Dragon Magic 103 coming out, y'all. September 27th at 1 p.m. You can get it on my website, newlifetools.org. A lot of you guys know about Dragon Magic 102. It was a classic. That's where I talked about the gemstone Likalea back in 2020. I talked about Likalea, and Likalea is a very powerful serpent stone. Well, I have another gemstone that I never revealed to the public that I've been using for years that I'm going to share in that class, and I have a lot of things I'm going to connect the dots on dealing with dragons and dragon magic. So if you want to take your dragon magic altar, if you want to protect your home more, deal with certain dragon frequencies, I'm going to teach you how to do that on a deeper level with stuff that's right in front of your face. I'm also going to reveal some things that are dragons, some deities that are actually dragons that y'all don't even know are actually dragons. These people, places, and things are dragons. Okay, so I'm going to explain what a dragon is and all that. So we're gonna get it on, family. So April 27th, which is about 2 weeks from now, Dragon Magic 103 class. This is the longer way that people have been asking me to do it for years. So I'm finally going to do it, family. Dragon Magic 103. So come on out and you can get your tickets. Go to my website, scroll down the front page, and just hit get tickets. And it'll take you to the place where you can get the tickets, family. So yeah, thank you guys for coming in. I appreciate everybody. So Dragon Magic 103, family. April 27th.
All right, we're gonna get to a couple of questions from the family before we get out of here. I want to thank everybody. We got a nice amount of people in here tonight. We got 2,300 people in here. So shout out to all of y'all for checking in on this Monday night. Shout out to King Simon in the chat representing. Always see King Simon in the chat, holding the chat down. Shout out to that brother there.
Thank you.
Let's get to give me some questions, family. I saved one from earlier. Okay, let me ask this one. What do you know about Damballa, an African spiritual system, and is it considered left-hand path?
That's a very interesting question. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I was gonna save this for Dragon Magic, but I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Damballa is a dragon. Is a serpent dragon, and Damballa is, of course, we know that's a deity that's dealing with the voodoo, the Voodoo system. No, it is not evil. No, it is not considered left-hand path. There's nothing about voodoo that's left-hand path. Now, the frequency can be switched to somebody doing something that people consider to be left-hand path. But originally, voodoo is not dark or light. It is simply just a beautiful science. You know what I'm saying? So what I don't want people to do is to think about Damballa. We all seen the Chucky movie. You know, Chucky supposedly was able to transfer his body into a doll by the power of Damballa. You know what I'm saying? And Damballa is not that type of deity that's going to do that, right? Damballa is one of the great serpent deities and very powerful deity of the Voodoo Pantheon, and it's not left-hand path. It is not dark or anything else like that.
Somebody said Yosef showed a glowing purple eye picture. What's that?
Oh, that's one of the. I always tell, like I tell people, the light don't lie. You know what I'm saying? When you doing certain spiritual work, the light acts different around you, and you get to see. I've shown people letters, orbs, faces, all kind of stuff in my orb. So yeah, that's something I produced about a couple months ago. You know what I'm saying? When I was out in the light.
Okay. Where's this question at? Y'all ain't got no questions on the purple flame, y'all. I like your questions, but come on, give me some questions about the purple flame, y'all. The White Brotherhood, the purple flame, something like that. All right, let me see. Whoever asks questions about that gets priority. So let me just put that out there. But Let me ask this question from Maximum Rising. Have you ever had contact with Andromedans?
I've had contact with people I feel like were Andromedans. But the actual entities themselves directly, no, I have not communicated directly with them. But I've had people interacting with people who I believe that are what you would consider to be a star seed of the Andromedans. Absolutely.
Okay.
It's only a few ET groups I ever interacted with.
Right. Somebody said, where can we get the purple wands from?
You can go right to Amazon and get them. They're called Violet. Just type in Violet wand and it should pop up. But it's more used for like a face thing, but you can use them also for your crystals. It's the same thing that Uncle Hanky be doing when he does the Tesla coil stuff to charge your gemstones and they can charge metals and stuff like that. But it's the same science.
Okay. Where's this at? Tiff wants to know, what about writing in purple ink like affirmations?
That's pretty powerful to think about it, because purple represents royalty. You know what I'm saying? Also, so from a legal perspective, when you write things in purple, it can represent a certain level of royalty. So it's like almost like you commanding something. But if you're going to do affirmations, I definitely recommend using Dragon's Blood ink, which is close to using your own blood, very close to using your own blood. Or if you know a certain type of mixture dealing with ashes that you know how to do, that is another science of ink. You can do that, but I would recommend using a red pen or some type of Dragon's Blood ink.
A white dude from the Rosicrucian Society told me a long time ago, always use blue ink when it comes to writing things that you want to manifest. And he talked about the blue in the throat chakra. And he was just talking about the blue. So he said use the blue ink. What's your thoughts on that?
I've never used blue ink alone to manifest. I've used regular ink before. Right. I don't remember if it manifested as much as I want, but I definitely saw the manifestation happen faster when I use Dragon's Blood ink. You know what I'm saying? That's something that, and it's specifically parchment paper. You know, using parchment paper and Dragon's Blood ink is a great combo to, if you want to burn it, send it into the afterworld. I think that's the best combo, in my opinion, to manifest something.
What do you think, Brother Yosef? This is my question. What do you think people could do? Because as we go through all of these things that we could do, different strokes for different folks. Some things work for one people, other things work for another group of people. But the main thing that's always in the equation is a person's intention. So some people have very strong intentions. Some people have very weak intentions. And the people with weak intentions always want to know what you do, because they want to just copy exactly what you do in hopes that they could achieve what you achieve. And then they don't get the results that you get. And then they blame you and say, you lied to them, but you didn't lie to them. But the intention wasn't as strong as your intention. So what advice would you give to somebody not to just follow a certain formula, but to strengthen their intention? What advice would you give to them with that?
Okay, so first of all, let me say this, that everybody on here know that when you angry, you can manifest anything you want angrily. You know what I'm saying? People get angry, and boy, your intentions be through the roof. Do you know why? Because not only are you thinking about what that person did or whatever happened, you can feel it in your chest. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? This is why everybody, when they get mad about something, everybody quick turn to I'm a hex, I'm gonna do something, But let me give y'all the game on this, right? I do a moon ritual with my tribe every month. And what I teach them to do is, before you do any ritual, grab whatever you're going to use. I don't care if it's a cauldron, if it's a wand, a bottle, and you need to put your energy into it. This is going to help increase your intentions. So take a deep breath in and out and push. Imagine white light coming through your body into the object that you're holding. Energy goes where intention flows. So if your intention is to charge this thing, and you can imagine white light around this bottle, that's exactly what's going to happen in the astral plane. And that's where you manifest into that. Because all you're doing is learning how to magnetize something from the astral plane to the physical world. That's all magic is about. So one of the secrets is, if you want to manifest something, even like I just said, Dragon's Blood ink and parchment paper, you need to hold that in your hand. You need to charge it first. And I know back in the day, people said, well, just take a little bit of your blood or your sperm and put it on the paper. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
That's cool. Yes, that works. It can empower, but we don't got to do all that. You know what I'm saying? All you need to do is really just take your energy. And this is going to be a practice for you. Learning how to set your intentions before anything you do. So you put your energy into it. And the next thing is I want people to practice positive mindsets. If you want to manifest something, if you got a messed up mindset and you worried about the bills being paid and you don't know how to feel good before you do a ritual, it ain't going to work like that for you. So one thing, that's why I tell people, if you can, get out of survival mode. This is very important, right? So what you need to do, family, is you need to learn how to feel positive emotions. Yeah. And I always tell people, start with gratitude. Gratitude is good. You know what I'm saying? You'll be grateful for whatever you want coming to you. Gratitude is incredible. But at the same time, you need to learn how to feel joy, feel happiness, feel peace, and learn how to feel these things on a regular level to the point where just like when you get angry, you can manifest it. You can manifest the same thing, high vibratory energy when you want to manifest something positive for yourself. Indeed. So that's what I do, y'all. I learn how to manifest things on a higher level by having good energy.
Yo, you ever heard the song with me, Cambada did? I produced from Kanye's Inferno.
No, I don't think I heard that.
Okay, I told this story. It's a funny story. Yo, it's the track is hard. It's how many of y'all heard Kanye's Inferno? I know some of y'all got the album Holy Ghost 3, but I said this story in behind the scenes for the people who bought the album from the website. But I was talking about the making of the beat and how it came about. And Kanye's Inferno, I was living in Brooklyn, and Cam was in the basement. I had end up getting in with an argument with my girl upstairs, and I came right downstairs right after the argument. Like I literally came right downstairs, and I was angry. I was upset, and I got on the MPC and the keyboard. Yo, I made that beat. Yo, brother Yosef, I made that beat in like 3 minutes, man. That was the fastest motherfucking beat I ever. Yo, like, what the fuck? Yo, after I made it, brother Yosef, after I made it, I was like, I did that shit. I was like, yo, what the fuck happened? Bro, I wasn't there. I was not even there. I don't know what happened, but I was angry and I just took it out on the music and the shit just came out. And after I did it, I didn't even know what happened, bro. But it was made, bro. But it's just me and Cam. Cam always bring it up to me like, yo, Rich, remember when you made that after the argument? He was like, yo, you made it in like 5 minutes. So I just interesting.
You know what happened? That anger you was feeling inspired you to get busy on that board.
Yeah.
And let me get this done. And by feeling that emotion, it gave you what you needed. It fueled you. You know what I do when I really want to think something? I think about my daughter being born.
Ooh.
My daughter being born gives me joy. You know what I'm saying? So if I want to think about something that inspired me, because my daughter is born, bro, I didn't care about money. I didn't care about being wealthy. I didn't care about having nothing before she was born.
Yeah.
When she was born, she changed my world. I remember holding her like, oh my God, what am I going to do? I don't got nothing for this baby yet. And it put me on a path of studying wealth, finances, everything, right? So when I want to be inspired to do something really inspirational, I sit back and I think about my daughter holding her. And I start feeling that joy. And it just opens me up to all these different creative ideas. So look for joy, look for happiness, look for something high vibrational. You can channel that same energy.
Indeed. Let's get to a couple of more questions. You'll be asking some funny questions. I gotta ask this one. They said, when you sun gaze to see a black man's face, who could he be? Who is
it could be you.
Who is that, brother?
You might be looking at yourself, family.
Man.
Yeah.
Wow. Yo, amazing. Wow, man. I want you to elaborate more on that, Iris. I would love to hear more about exactly what you see.
You can look at Amin Ra.
Yeah. Somebody said, Rich, tell people to Google the purple lotus of life image for DNA activation and grid work. I emailed it to brother Yosef months ago. You know what that is?
No, I don't know. I don't think I know what that is. Interesting. I get a lot of emails, so I might have missed that one, family. I apologize. But it sounds powerful.
Yeah, it does.
Sounds super powerful. There are pictures that people can look at that can activate DNA and do things. So that's powerful, family.
Oh, somebody said, were you influenced by Azazel Bay work on the violet flame?
No, well, I would definitely say one of the first places I heard about, because I know exactly who Azazel Bay is. You know what I'm saying? That's where he inspired me to get the animal t-shirts. Y'all remember the animal t-shirts Azazel used to wear? Yeah. I started getting my animal t-shirts. I was inspired by him. Straight up. So shout out to the brother. I know he passed away, but shout out to him, man. Rest in peace, man. But I didn't see all of the violet flame, but I remember he put that science out years ago. He was telling people to use it to get the Pope and all this type of stuff. I remember that, you know what I'm saying? But I definitely did the research and went down the rabbit hole with it, man, and studied some stuff. And the violet flame is an immortal flame. And I always tell people what our alchemists doing when they transmute energy. They are simply tapping into love. Mm-hmm. And that's really the grid of everything, whether you use it for something negative or positive. Yes, love can be used for something negative. But what you talking about, brother Yosef? Well, there's a thing called earth love. And earth love will make you kill somebody. You could be in love with somebody. You know, I was telling Brother Rich the other day down here in Houston, it's weird because the young boys don't just shoot people and kill people like that down here. It happens. It be in-home violence. Like every day. Like it be girlfriends killing their boyfriends and boyfriends shooting their girl. It's just weird. You know what I'm saying? So love can make you do some crazy things. So yeah, that love frequency is what it comes down to with alchemy, y'all. And it takes a God to tap into that frequency.
Indeed. Let's keep this thing. I seen a question. Let me ask this question before I get to another question. What's your thoughts, brother Yosef, on we know how influential music is in the manifestation process and tapping into the spirit realm. How important it is to listen to, like, let's say you listen to Purple Rain by Prince. You listen to Purple Rain, Purple. How effective you think that will be in terms of what we're talking about with the purple flame if we combine our visualization with music like Purple Rain from Prince?
I think that's very powerful. I think that's something that would definitely work. It's funny because I started watching these things recently where they said Prince was mystical. They said Prince will float. You know what I'm saying? They said that he would just disappear and just reappear somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So Prince definitely had that mystical, magical science in his music. Because what in the world is he talking about with Purple Rain? He's talking about an energy, you know what I'm saying? Coming down. You know what I'm saying? And some people may find it hard to believe, but it's Luciferian energy. Luciferian energy is not something that's evil. Lucifer will always line up with Venus. Can't nobody prove different. Only way people can prove that, I always bring up Michael Ford. He deals with the Luciferian science. But it's from a satanic perspective. It's not purely Luciferianism. Trump is a Luciferian. I've always told people Luciferian are futurists. And Luciferians want the world to change. They still want to be in control, but they're big on transformation and change. This is something that they're into. So he's now the rest of his family is Satanists, without a shadow of a doubt. They practice Satanism. But he's one of the people that practice Luciferianism. And the last Luciferian you had in the White House was JFK. You know what I'm saying? He was the last Luciferian, and they got to him before he could do anything. But Trump is the next one. So when you're dealing with Purple Rain, you're dealing with that science, you're talking about healing energy. You're talking about manifestation, transmutation. That's some very powerful science, and that's what I believe he's talking about, fam.
I think Hendrix had Purple Haze, right? Jimi Hendrix.
Purple Haze, exactly. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. So anytime you hear about these great musicians, you see this thing purple. And purple lines up with Venus, purple and green. You know, this is the energy of Venus, which is music. Venus is music. Lucifer is music. But that's too far for some people, but it is what it is. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And I'm gonna tell y'all, Lucifer don't need to be worshipped. You know, she is not an entity that needs to be worshipped. People think they need to connect with. You don't want to connect with. There's too much light. It's an ultraviolet entity, right? Lucifer's ultraviolet. You don't need to connect with that light. Just be grateful that it's sharing this energy. That's all you need to do. And this energy is music.
Indeed. All right. We're gonna do about two more. Brother Yosef, what's your Cash App? Because you've been,
it's not my old one, so my new one is New Life 11. NULYFE 11.
Hold up.
$sign
New
NULYFE
FE
11.
What, the number 11?
Yep. So 11.
New Life 11.
Yep. 11. Yep.
Oh man, yeah. We're about to close it, but I had to share this because Cause yeah, man, the brother's just been dropping it, man, all night for the past hour and a half. So, and we got about 2,300 people in the chat right in the room right now. So, make sure y'all show the brother some love. Let him know how the Black Magic 363 family get down. You can hit him up on Cash App, brother Yosef, $ New Life 11, NULYFE.
And that's lowercase. That's a lowercase n, but it's all New Life 11. So it's it's good.
All right, make sure you'll show the brother some love. You know what I'm saying? Show him some Black Magic 363, some purple flame love. Show him some purple flame love. You know, shit. You know what I'm saying? Let's get to I think King Simon had a question. Where's that? King Simon wanted to know, what is dragon blood used for? I don't know if you answered that already.
So dragon blood is used for a lot of things, but dragon blood, in my opinion, the best thing it's used for, and its ink form, is for manifestation. It is it's one of, this is why I tell people, instead of using your human blood, because some people have been taught to do that, and that's, hey, that's cool if that's what you want to do. Instead of using your human blood, you definitely want to use, I would say the ink to use is dragon's blood. Now the closest thing to that is hard to find, but people do use, it's called dove's blood. You can get real dove's blood. That's something I used to use back in the day too. I'm just gonna be honest. I used to use dove's blood to write my manifestation, and it will work every time. You know what I'm saying? But dove's blood is hard to find. I'm talking about real dove's blood. You can actually get that if you know what stores to go into. So you can use dove's blood, and but dragon's blood is something that can cleanse the air. People use it for incense and stuff like that. But I think the best thing is, and it comes from a plant, by the way, but the best thing is used for a family is to write by many mages and magicians over years, to write spells and spell work. And I've been using it for years to write. And by the way, I write my sigils and my spells in dragon's blood, but I use the Malachim scripts as well. So the Malachim scripts is something that you can use to take the frequency higher when you write out what you're trying to write out. For my sigils as well. That's what I use them for.
Yo, you just mentioned the incense. You just reminded me. What is your thoughts on because we talk a lot of people talk about the DMT and the shrooms and all of that stuff. What's your thoughts on tobacco? I want to ask you this, and let me just I want to ask you this because Dr. Sadie's Peoples, I just got this is straight from Honduras. 100% pure tobacco from Dr. Sabi's town, Honduras. My brother Mr. G, blessed, because I was telling him I'm getting in tobacco and all of that, and he delivered. I mean, I got so much tobacco right now. I want to ask, because I know you deal with the magic, and I know tobacco is very, very important with a lot of people that tap into the spiritual sciences. What is your thoughts? And I got to figure out how I'm gonna get it, because you can't technically sell tobacco, but I'm gonna talk to y'all about this is some real deal shit, y'all. Straight from the stores. But what's your thoughts on tobacco, brother?
Tobacco can be used for many things, to feed spirits and also to empower things and charge things.
Yeah.
So you'll see a lot of the voodoo priests and a lot of the Yoruba priests, they'll use tobacco sometimes to spray around certain altars they built, certain sigils. They use tobacco to activate the sigils that they're using to connect to the Orisha or something like that, right? Or even sometimes some of the voodoo deities. So tobacco, I will usually warn against it in America because it ain't pure. But man, if you're getting it from Honduras and from the people, it's probably the most purest tobacco, something they can't get in America. I have no problem with that type of tobacco. That's the best tobacco. It is that you don't see it no more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Just like marijuana, you don't get pure marijuana the way it's supposed to be anymore. You know what I'm saying? So as far as tobacco, man, I think it's a beautiful thing to use, especially when it's in an indigenous form and it's pure. You can empower things and charge things with it. The other version will hurt you. It will weaken you, and it will hurt your aura. So that's what I think about tobacco. And it's good for teas and medicines and all kind of stuff. You can actually take a little bit, you got to get pure tobacco though, crush it up and put it in your medicine bag. That's a great way to empower your medicine bag as well.
I'm totally charged up, family. Because I never really got into the shroom thing like that. I tried it. I never really got into it like that. And I'm not really into marijuana. I don't do marijuana. That doesn't align with my spirit like that. But Now, I always loved cigars. Since I was young, I liked the Cohibas. I would get, but I couldn't get it. I could only get it when I go on vacation because you couldn't get Cuban cigars in America. So I never was able to get a lot of Cohibas. So when Mr. G told me about Honduras, I was like, yo, I met him at the airport. I met him at the airport. This dude came with a briefcase. Somebody asked me, they said, are you selling it? I can't, you know, I got to figure out a way because technically I can't. I need a license, but you know, maybe if y'all buy something else from me, I could gift y'all with it back. But I'll figure it out. I you know, but I'm just thankful that it just came to me. I'm about to be the tobacco king, y'all. I'm not DMT. I'm Radiohead, aka the tobacco king, is here.
Hey,
let me.
You know, it's funny because people want to see me high so bad, bro. They want to see me do the mushroom so bad. I'm like, man, what's I mean, you just gonna tell us some crazy stuff, and I'm like, no, I'm good on the mushrooms. Yeah, I don't play with that type of stuff, man. But yeah, that's dope, brother. You know what I'm saying? That's dope. But I don't hate mushrooms, y'all. Some people think I hate mushrooms. No, I don't got nothing against mushrooms. They are a sacred herb, so nothing against them, fam.
Indeed. Slimia said, just say it is free with a door. Something like that. She said, it said like that. I would figure it out. Like that. But yeah, tobacco chief. There you go. There you go. Precisely. Tobacco chief. That's my new AKA, the tobacco chief, y'all. There you go. Let's keep this thing going. We're gonna have one more question, and then we're going to get out of here. Oh man, what a fun show. This was just well, we talked about the wife earlier, brother Yosef. So the sister wants to know, do your wife practice this magic with you, and would it matter if she did or didn't?
That's a great question. I appreciate that question. So, you know, my wife is into spirituality. She's more into like UFOs and aliens, and she's big into that type of stuff. And she's into conspiracy theories, big. But me and my family, we do have rituals that we do as a family, magically. We raise our daughter that way as well. Excellent. So my wife isn't into the magic as deep as I am. She's not a researcher and a deep practicer of it like I am, but she does do, you know, basic ritual stuff that I do. So that's what she does. And to answer your question, would it matter if she wasn't? No, it wouldn't matter. If she wasn't, as long as this is why I tell most men who have a wife and she's not spiritual, I tell them, like, you're in love with that woman, or you're with that woman to be in a relationship with her, right? If she's cooking for you, cleaning for you, supporting you, supporting your dreams, making you happy, you know what I'm saying? She got your back, right? She's for you. Who cares if she's spiritual? Now, of course, I understand people wanting their mate to be spiritual, but look, I'm not in this relationship with you so you could be spiritual. I'm in a relationship with you because you make me happy, and I feel like we could make it together. So this is what I'm saying. Like your lady doesn't have to be happy. My wife wouldn't have to be spiritual. It wouldn't matter to me at all. Because of course I'm going to mention it to her and tell her what she should do, but it wouldn't matter to me at all. As long as she makes me happy, and I can have peace of mind at home. And if you don't believe in the spirituality, as long as you stay out of my way, we good. I'm good with it. You know what I'm saying? So no, it wouldn't matter if she was spiritual or not. And I want more men and women to understand that your mate doesn't have to be spiritual. Like, you're with that person because you love them and you want to be with them. Be with them for that reason. You know what I mean? And I know that's hard, but that's something you should do before you get into the spirituality with them. But 9 times out of 10, they're going to follow you anyway. So,
indeed, excellent advice, my brother. Excellent advice from the chief. We getting out of here, family. Brother Yosef, once again, before we get out of here, tell the people what you got coming up with this dragon class, man, because this
Thank you. Yes, once again, family, Dragon Magic 103 coming out April 27th. We're just gonna go down. I'm gonna give you some things you can do to protect your home using dragons, using the energy of dragons. And this is gonna be the last one too, y'all. So if you want to get into it, I don't know when I'm gonna come out with the class afterwards. It will not be right away. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to come in and get this information, come on in. You can get your tickets at newlifetools.org. Just scroll down the front page and you'll see the Dragon Magic class and get your tickets. And that's where you can get your tickets, family. Thank y'all so much for y'all support.
Indeed. Family, I want to thank all of y'all for tuning in tonight. We still got about 2,300 people in the chat. I think I might be on tomorrow with Red Pill. I'm not sure if it's Red Pill or Brother Sharif. But I'm gonna be on with somebody tomorrow. So tune in tomorrow for another show, Brother Yosef. I'm gonna
Can I say one more thing?
Yes, sir.
If you get your Dragon Match tickets, you'll get the link the day before the class. So I just want to say that, family. You'll get the link to the class the day before the class. So if you don't get it right away, don't panic. We got your email, and we're gonna send it out to you the day before the class.
Indeed. Shout out to the violet flame and the energy that it has produced.
Absolutely.
And me being able to do a show talking about it was phenomenal tonight. Very fun show.
We covered a lot.
Yeah, a whole lot. Shout out to Saint Germain, all the Ascended Masters,
Absolutely.
the Great White Brotherhood. Absolutely wonderful show.
Melchizedek, Order of Melchizedek.
Indeed. Anybody else? Anybody else we forget?
Everybody. All the Ascended Masters. Known and unknown. You know what I mean?
Known and unknown, indeed. With that being said, we sign out, family. Have a good night. Peace. Peace, Brother Yosef.
Peace, brother. Peace and blessings.
All right. See y'all tomorrow, family.